Right, let's get started with the news. And in our first story, JoyNews is learning Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is one of several political appointees being investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. 9 other political appointees and elected officers have also been named in a total of 25 cases relating to abuse of office. Now, the Information Minister, who is being investigated for alleged abuse of office involving Ash Plant Pool Company, is said to have submitted his caution statement responding to the allegations. Now, it had to do with the purchase of vehicles for MPs through a loan guaranteed by government. Meanwhile, at a Corruption Watch forum on Monday, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at the Center for Democratic Development and lead on the Corruption Watch project, Dr. Kojo Asante said the CID is duplicating roles by investigating cases the OSP is already handling.
Both the Metro case and the Galamsey cases, in the Metro Mass case, the complainant who took the case to the OSP ended up being investigated and prosecuted by the CID. In the Galamsey case, although Anas had announced that he has submitted the case to the OSP, the CID opened the case on the same matter upon the instructions of the Minister for Interior. Apart from the obvious duplication and the waste of resources, it can only encourage forum shopping on the part of suspects. At 959, it's clear that corruption and corruption-related offenses are the preserve of the OSP. These offenses included, listed in the Criminal Offences Act of 1960, the procurement offenses and related offenses to these 2 categories. During the parliamentary committee deliberations, there was an effort to insert a takeover clause allowing the OSP the power to take over corruption cases started by other agencies if it so wished. This was to affirm its jurisdiction. The only reference to this jurisdiction was expressed in Section 81 under transitional proceedings, where the AG could exercise her discretion to pass on cases handled by other agencies to the OSP. Certainly, the propriety of such a decision by the Attorney General would depend on the capacity of the OSP to handle such cases. But surely, ladies and gentlemen, it should be clear, when a new matter on corruption has been reported to the OSP and he's dealing with it, there is no need to open another case at a different agency. The governing board was designed to deal with such matters and should be called upon to address it. But going forward, the OSP does require a cooperation and coordination and collaboration protocol agreed with other agencies that will guide everybody when these overlaps emerge. This is a policy matter the board must take up.
Now, away from that, former President John Agyekum Kufuor says that the former heads of state and military leaders who were killed by firing squad suffered punishment not prescribed by law. It's been 40 years since the 2 former heads of state and 4 other army generals were executed by firing squad during the reign of former President Rawlings, but the families say they are still living with the scars of that incident. Former President Kufuor was speaking when children of the slain leaders paid a courtesy call on him as part of activities to mark 40 years of their killing. Here's a bit more in this report.
Lieutenant General Akwesi Amankwa Ifrifa and General Fred William Ekufu, who both served as head of state, were in June 1979 taken to the Teshi shooting range in Accra along with 4 others and shot dead. They were accused of dishonest acquisition of property and intentional misapplication of public property by the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council. Their family members say they are yet to get over their debt.
Okatichi Amankwa Ifrifa, son of General Akwesi Amankwa Ifrifa.
What is this one thing you remember your daddy for?
Oh, he was brave. He was a strong person. You know that Asante didn't give him the Okatichi just for giving sake. He really deserved it. He was a bold and noble person. But to be honest with you, what we really hold high was the exhumation and the reburial. That is why we have come here today. Because now When it's his birthday, you can just buy a wreath and you know where you are going to put it. You know, during his anniversary, you know where the body is and you know what you want to go and do there. And I think that alone gives us some happiness.
Well, my father was a very disciplined person and he inculcated in us discipline. So even when he's been absent in our lives for almost 40 years, we have carried on what he taught us. So even though he was absent, his spirit has always been with us.
The bodies of the slain leaders were exhumed during the reign of former President Agyekum Kufuor to be given a fitting burial. The families are commemorating 40 years of their pardon, and a call to the former president is a key part of it. Mr. Kufuor says the move was in the interest of national reconciliation.
I came into power, I got a petition. In any case, I had even set up a reconciliation commission to try to heal the hurts and wounds within our community so there would be peace for governance. After all, I had only 4 years to govern in the first term. And I wanted, if I could get it, total peace to focus on development policies and to turn the country around as quickly as possible. So when I sent the hurt, the pent-up feelings, and let there be reconciliation, and then a petition came to the castle from the widows. As I said, I consulted. These people had become so like casualties or in efforts to serve the country. They went, as far as I know, they were not tried in courts of law and found guilty to suffer punishments prescribed by law. And the discretion was in the presidency to allow the bodies to be exhumed and properly buried. So on this basis, I said, why not?
The fitting burial aside, the families still look back and mourn their fathers in the hope that Ghana will not see those times again. Patricia Roxton Hammond, JoyNews, Accra.
To the Ashanti region next, where residents of Dunkwa and other communities along the route are now deploying pumping machines whenever it rains to drain stagnant water from deep gullies to enable vehicles pass. Residents say they have been left to their fate despite repeated appeals and promises by government to fix the road. Nana Asensu Mensah has been learning more about this. Here's his report.
For the past, I think a year now, we've been pumping water out of this. How do you call it? Tap hose or what?
Let's say it's dam.
This dam.
Yes.
That's occurred on several occasions. When it rains heavily, you have to just come along with pumping machines, pump some water out before even cars can move along.
This has been a routine after every downpour. Large pools of stagnant water in pond-like gullies in the middle of the main Obuasi-Dunkwa highway. Communities almost cut from the Dunkwa township.
From Obuasi to Dunkwa, from Praso to Dunkwa, from Ayamfree to Dunkwa. It's no more pothole, they are manholes. And sometimes it's so worse to the extent that when it rains, you need pumping machine to pump the water out of the road before the saloon cars, it can become more trouble for the saloon cars. And businesses are no more interested come here. We have, if somebody is sick and the person is supposed to be referred to Komfanoche, to the next health center, the next place for further treatment. When you were coming, I know you saw the road by yourself. How can before the person get there, he may be dead already.
A journey from Obuasi through Dunkwa to Bogoso normally should take an hour, but now motorists and commuters are covering the distance averagely in 3 hours. Commercial drivers complain the deplorable state of the road causes their vehicles to break down frequently. The road causes our cars to break down. I visit the mechanic at least 3 times in a week, and we can't stay home idle. So government should fix the road for us.
Fish pond.
Some of us won't vote next year if the road remains the same. Chief of Dunkwao, Nana Okofobo Obinyakun III, makes passionate appeal to government to fulfill its promise by fixing the road to enhance their livelihoods.
As when you are coming, you see the road, how it is. In fact, it is not even a pothole. By now, it's an, I can say it's a lake when you get to Menukrum and to Techukrum. In fact, we have always talked to the government. And the last time when the government came here, he promised us that he is going to meet a minister. The minister should come and bring the budget on that road for him. So we are waiting for him to see what he will do to us.
Nana Asensu Mensah reporting.
Now, a health expert is advocating government absorbs or subsidizes what she describes as indirect cost of antenatal care services not covered by health insurance. Technical instructor at Garden City University College, Department of Midwifery, says many women shy away from hospital services over such expenses. Felicia Usansa was speaking at a medical outreach at Kenyase near Kumasi to mark World Midwifery Day.
In 2008, the government of Ghana implemented a national user fee maternal care exemption policy through the National Health Insurance Scheme. It was aimed at improving financial access to maternal health services and reduce maternal and prenatal deaths. Evidence shows there has been some success with this initiative. However, a study in March 2018 showed there are still issues relating to cost of care to beneficiaries. Madam Owusu Ansah says government and individuals' intervention will be crucial.
The women, most of them will become pregnant and they have no work doing. They have, sometimes they will not have husbands to take care of them. So in this aspect, we encourage all the women to actually have something doing, and then you get a little savings to take off certain of the debts that may come on the way.
Each year since 1992, the International Confederation of Midwives leads global recognition and celebration of the work of midwives. It comes up with a campaign theme to motivate member associations, partners and stakeholders. The initiative raises awareness about the status of midwives and the essential care they provide to mothers and their newborns. This year's celebration is under the theme, Midwives, Defenders of Women's Rights. Dr. Isionimu Ekwawan is head of Department of Midwifery.
Women have rights, and particularly in some of our African societies, these rights are not upheld. The woman of childbearing age, that is from 15 to 49 years, has the right to be attended to by a skillful professional in pregnancy and childbirth, even before pregnancy. And before pregnancy, commonly the care that they have is family planning. So they need skillful midwives, trained midwives, to attend to them.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
And before we go, it was a rare but refreshing experience for students of Edujemfi Senior High School when a top government official took them through a mathematics lesson. Deputy Minister of Education Dr. Yawase Duchum was on a visit to monitor the ongoing West Africa Senior High School certificate examinations, and on entering a classroom where students were waiting anxiously for the maths tutor, he briefly took off his ministerial cloak to pick up the whiteboard marker to teach. Nana Asensu Mensah witnessed the Deputy Minister's tuition session with the students.
be the subject of something. Let's see. Can something that you did in change of subject that was so hard? Maybe we can solve it together. Somebody, do you have an eraser?
Marker.
Right. Make H the subject of the formula. Step 1. Step 1. To make life easy for you, what do? Find what? Would you want to take away the fraction so life is easy for you? How do you take away the fraction? By...
The Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yawase Duchum, is encouraging school authorities to work towards reversing persistent failure in English language and mathematics.
Be careful. If you are careful, you study, one day you become headmistress, headmaster.
In 2018, over 190,000 senior high school graduates missed university due to failure in mathematics and English. The situation has persisted over years. Dr. Osei says the trend must change.
Actually, in some subjects, performance have actually skyrocketed. For example, social studies students have done so well over the years. English and mathematics is where we had a dip last year. Our headmasters whose schools experienced that, we met with them in Accra. They all came back with determination to make sure we can stem the tide and really stop this downward slide and dip in student performance. H, the subject of the formula.
After taking the students through a full topic, he shared his story as example to encourage students to strive to the top.
You finished? So all that I'm saying is this. I was in America, did so many big things there, couldn't have done it without education because my parents didn't go to school. How can I go to America and get a white person to come and beg me and say, can you please give me a job? I remember one American teacher that I hired, he was not working, and I had to sack him. Ghana, you say sack, right? So I sacked him and he sat in front of my door crying. So I went to see her. First, I had sympathy for her, right? And then later I said, hey, me pa me Ibroni, you know. All that I'm telling you is that you can succeed, right? It's possible that you can be one of the most successful person in this country. But you cannot do it without the discipline.
Some students shared their impression on the session with the Deputy Minister.
My name is Sisa Kababa, and I feel very, very happy today. I'm very, very excited today to see the Deputy Minister standing in front of me, teaching me. I was very, very excited today, so I can see.
Fascinating stuff there. And I don't know if it's fair to say if those kids fail their exams, it's the government's fault. But how heartwarming. That's his old school. By the way, anymore, how nice to see you.
Good morning, Kojo. Good to see you too.
Indeed.
Yes.
And I thought that was quite heartwarming. He took a moment, you know, to relate with the kids in a way that is perhaps a little bit more than a government official would do on a visit like that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that that's how you feel about it. I've been trying not to roll my eyes at the Deputy Minister. And yes, it looks good for camera, but I'm not happy with the educational system in Ghana. It breaks my heart when I see kids, you know, we spoke to a few kids who are in public schools, you know, and we asked them simple questions like, oh, what's 3 times 8? And you find that they have to go 313, 326, 339 before they get to 3 times 8.
All the while you're waiting.
Exactly, but the point is that the system is so chew and pour. The system is not really encouraging our kids to think. It's really not putting them up to be able to compete on the international markets, the average child. And so as much as I appreciate the show and, you know, and all of that, I want an educational system that works, and I would be feeling much more warm if I felt like he was actually making the system better. So
you don't feel that way?
No, I don't.
What a pity. Well, I've got to say though, in all of this, while it looks quite, like you said, it looks quite good to see him even desiring to engage with the kids.
Of course.
I wonder where the teacher was and why he or she was late.
Oh, maybe they'd gone to eat wache. Maybe.
Chew and pour and wache. That sums up education in Ghana. I hope not. We're back after this with even more on the AM show, including all the headlines from the papers. Stay with us.